Hey everyone, how's it going? So there isn't a day that goes by that someone doesn't ask me, number one, how I became a realtor, and number two, what the steps are involved with becoming a realtor. So before I go into my story, please know that obviously some things have changed since then, but in the meantime, I'm very happy to share my story on how I became a realtor and the costs and expenditures that I had to endure to become a realtor. So when I was 14 years old, my parents got divorced and they had to sell the family house, 5823 Grove Avenue in Ladner, where I grew up. And I remember sitting at the dining room table with my mom and my dad while the realtor, Bob Cook, who's still a realtor, hey Bob, if you're watching, was their agent, and I was like interjecting and playing quite a significant role when I was, I don't know, 14-year-old child of some sort. And from that day on, I honestly knew that I wanted to become a realtor. There wasn't a doubt in my mind, and still to this day there isn't. And moving forward, when I was 16, my high school, which was Delta Secondary School, we were required to do an unpaid apprenticeship with any type of career that we were interested in. So people were doing plumbing, teachers, etc. I knew that I wanted to be a realtor. It was a business teacher, Mr. Harkley. Thank you, Mr. Harkley, for doing that. He put me in touch with Terry Steele, who's one of the top local agents in the community that I grew up in Tsawwassen and Ladner. And I remember her explicitly saying to me, you will make it, you have what it takes, you need to follow your passion and your dreams. And I worked with her for about a year, unpaid, and it was amazing. And so many of the things that she taught me, I embody in my day-to-day business now. Then there were some unfortunate things that happened in my teens, specifically from the ages of 16 to 19, mostly, to be frank, surrounding my mom's addiction. And so those became very dark years of my life. Instead of me resorting to drug and alcohol, my drug of choice was to work. And I got a job at Tim Hortons and quickly went through the ranks and became a store manager by the time I was 17. And when I was 19, I was recruited to work for Starbucks as a store manager. And I was a good store manager, let's put it that way, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And God bless my father. I love him very, very, very much, and I'm so grateful for everything that he's done. One thing that he said, and this is not a discredit to him at all, because I feel like it propelled me to be where I am today, is he said, Ryan, unfortunately, you're never gonna make it. You need to go to trade school, you need to become either an electrician and plumber, or go to university, become a teacher or a doctor or whatever. And although that sounds twisted and wrong, I feel like deep down he did it because he wanted me to work really hard to where I wanted to go. So when I was 19 and I was dating my first boyfriend at the time, Ian, I remember going to this gay club in Vancouver called the Odyssey. And if you're from Vancouver and old enough to have been there, wow, that's an amazing place. But that's getting off topic for a second. I remember meeting Travis Robinson, hey Travis, if you're watching this, in the bathroom of all places, and me being like me, I was starstruck because Travis Robinson was who I wanted to be when I was 19 years old. I was like, he is a very successful gay realtor that's so well respected and well known in Vancouver. And I remember going up to him and saying, hey, I know this is weird, but I want to be you. And I remember him giving me the most generous, open-minded, and welcoming / enriching smile. And he said, you're the cutest thing in the world. We're gonna be friends. So that friendship flourished over about 2 or 3 years. And I remember one day being so frustrated with Starbucks, and he said, Ryan, why don't you just live your life and do your passion and become a realtor? So thank you, Travis, for encouraging me to do what I was meant to do. And so thank you, Travis, for having the confidence in me when I did not have the confidence in myself. So I was 21 years old, 20 years old, and I left Starbucks. I was living on my own and I had expenses to pay. So whether I'm in school or working full-time, I had to put food on my table and pay for my rent, my car, etc. So I was very lucky in the sense that I got a job with no serving experience at Cactus Club. And that was an incredible experience in itself. So I did that while doing my real estate program. So I believe that the program now has since changed, but back then you simply purchased the course on the UBC website via Sauder School of Business, and they give you, I think, 1 year to complete 20 assignments. And then once the assignments were submitted, you have to write a very difficult exam where most people fail it 1, 2, 3 times. Let's just be real. Anyone that knows me well knows that I'm not book smart. However, I am proud of the fact that I have amazing communication skills, but that's besides the point. I decided to sign up for this third-party company called RealSmart. When you just sign up for the program, UBC mails you this thick Bible textbook full of information, and to be frank, it goes way over the head of most people. And RealSmart, they really train you how to pass the exam and what you need to know in order to be successful walking into your first day of real estate. So I did that and I got 98% on the exam. I'm not lying, I swear to God, look you in the eyes, and I'm being completely authentic. I was shocked myself. But that is an example of when I put my mind to something, I achieve it. And so, like I said, I passed the first time. I did the year program in like 3 months, something like that, while working at Cactus Club. And then this is the part of the story that I'm most proud about sharing. So I was living downtown at that time with 2 roommates in the Spectrum Towers right over there, and life was good. However, I didn't have the confidence that I would be able to make it as a full-time realtor. So I never left Cactus Club. What most people don't know about real estate, and what is, in my opinion, very frustrating about my industry, is that it's not very transparent online how much it actually costs to realistically get into the business. And I'm gonna tell you my story and how much it cost me, just in hopes that no one else walks into this profession thinking one thing and then actually realizing another. So the cost of getting your real estate license, that in itself is not too expensive. I think signing up for the UBC program is $1,200 or something of that sort. The reality is, once you're licensed, you need to be signed up with a brokerage, whether it be Remax, Royal LePage, Sutton, Oakwood Realty, and you have to pay them a fee every single month to be there. And let's be real, these brokerages, although they're there to support you, mentor you, and train you, they realistically don't care if you sell 0 homes or 60 homes in your first year. They get their fee. And although those brokerages, as awesome as they are, they're actually only getting a small portion of the pie of the monthly fee that they charge you, because there's a whole other plethora of other fees that are associated with getting into the business. For example, errors and emissions insurance, the Real Estate Board of Vancouver, Canadian Real Estate Association. So there's all these extra fees that are not really disclosed when you look up how much it costs to become a realtor. And this is just the honest truth. You have to spend approximately $1,200 per month just to be licensed. So if you do not have $1,200 a month set aside for X amount of months, and what I mean by that is until you think that you're realistically going to be making sales, then I would recommend working and saving that money until you do, because you don't want to be in a situation where you get your license and you quickly run out of money, or even worse, you become desperate and instill tactics that are not ethical, because that's not going to work in anyone's favor. But circling back to my own personal story, I was doing things what I think was right at the time, but obviously very wrong. I was working at Cactus Club while attempting to be a realtor, and let's be real, I was so lucky in the sense that I got my first sale from Grindr. And I know I've talked about Grindr on the show before, and Grindr's been very successful for me. I met a guy on Grindr that said he wanted to buy an apartment, and actually he did. And that was my very first sale. It was 518 Beatty Street. But what I can tell you is back then, when I was licensed in 2011, I had no idea how to write a contract. I had no idea what my day-to-day interactions would look like. And so thank you to Travis Robinson. I remember him sending me a contract template and walking me through my first offer. Fast forward about 2 months, I was literally in the kitchen of Remax, my current brokerage, and I met my now business partner, Adrian Shipper. Hey Adrian, if you're watching. And basically, he asked me to do an open house for him. A lot of independent, very busy agents, they ask other agents within their brokerage to host open houses for them, because realistically, it's not possible for one agent to be at multiple places at the same time. So I was hosting an open house for Adrian at 1155 Homer, but the ironic / cool thing that propelled me into my business partnership with Adrian that I have today was a nice couple came and walked into my open house, and they did something that never ever happens. They bought it in the open house. Like, realtors that are watching are like, really? They did that? And they did. So I wrote the offer to Adrian and Adrian's clients, and Adrian was like, what? Like, great, but like, how did you do that? I have to be honest, there was luck, but there was also loyalty, hard work, and authenticity on my part. So that deal closed, and Adrian unfortunately got sick and asked me if I was willing to take care of his business because he needed like 2 weeks to just sleep, rest, and take care of his own body. I was like, oh my God, I would love to. Please give me that opportunity. During that time, I think I sold 3 of his clients into something, or 3 of his listings. But I remember Adrian taking me out to the Keg in Yaletown and sitting on the rooftop deck, June of 2012. So I was licensed for about maybe 6-8 months, maybe closer to a year at that point. And he said, Ryan, would you be interested in a trial partnership with me? And I remember I was sitting in a booth, but I almost fell over and hit my head. Not actually, but I was like, whoa, did he just ask me to be his business partner? Because I'm brand new and know nothing, know nobody. And this is one of the top realtors in Vancouver. And of course I said yes. And I started out as an associate with him. Although kudos to Adrian, because what he did with me is something that I don't know if I would ever be able to give or offer another agent. Adrian gave me his whole set of trust right from the get-go, like his passwords to everything and access to his clients and his database. And let me tell you, no relationship is ever perfect, but I will never forget the opportunities and the trust that he had enriched my life with. I can honestly say that I've never screwed that up. I would say that my proudest accomplishment, and here's a picture of it, is when I was 23 years old, 22 or 23 years old. So after my first full year in real estate, I won the RE/MAX Rookie of the Year award. I still get like chills on my spine thinking about that, because that was like the best day of my life, and I don't think anything could ever beat that. And look at the smile on Adrian's face, because without him and everything that he sacrificed for me, I don't think, in fact, I know I would not be where I am today. That's the true story. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that this instilled some sort of knowledge and a sense of information for you guys. Becoming a realtor is not easy, but if you're focused, determined, and you stay true to what you believe in, you'll be successful. So if you have any questions, please type them down below, or you can send me a DM. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe. Thanks very much. Have a great day.